knowing your family history is very important because it can actually affect your future. Not only your future, but also the future of your children. I know in my case, my daughter was diagnosed with sickle cell disease, and it's actually a genetic disorder that is passed down genetically. So that means my husband and I both have the sickle cell trait, but we didn't know that. And so I wish that we had done genetic counseling so we would have that information so that we could make informed decisions. So I am actually the youngest of 5, and my mother actually had me at 45 years old, so she was older. And I am grateful that I still have my mother with me, but that means that family members who were older than my mother, they weren't necessarily around for us to ask them different questions about their health history. And so we have had to kind of rely on piecing information together, and I think that makes it more difficult because I think when you are aware of your family health history, your family's health history, you can actually prevent things and maybe take extra precautions, and it can kind of help dictate your behavior, more exercise if needed, a healthier diet if needed. Those sort of things can come into play. Genetic testing can be beneficial because I think it gives people an opportunity to know the past, the future, and the present. So I think when it comes to the present, often we talk about getting a mammogram, for instance, and the importance of that. But when you know your family's history, you may actually seek out certain precautions or certain health techniques, certain treatments earlier that could be more of a preventive measure. So I mentioned that my husband and I did not know that we were sickle cell trait carriers when my daughter was born. And what that means is we both have siblings, but it turns out that we both are the only siblings in our families of our children's offspring, of our parents' offspring, who have sickle cell trait. And so sometimes that means you can't necessarily look at what your siblings have to determine your health history. And so sometimes you have to go deeper because it means that we have a parent who has sickle cell trait. And so I wish that we had that knowledge. And also there are other health histories like hypertension, diabetes is another thing that can run in people's families. And I know my daughter doesn't just have sickle cell disease, she also has type 1 diabetes. And while type 1 diabetes is not a rare disease, it does have a genetic component. When you have a family history, you can actually get help sooner. And so I think that when you are able to get help sooner, you can live a healthier life. You can have a better quality of life. And I think for someone who is a minority in America, having a better quality of life, I think is something that we all hope for, especially health-wise, because we know that there are some health inequities that exist.